somebody who can write across the disciplines, not just someone who's good at English or politics or SOAN or, but somebody who can move from department to department. And this is somebody who understands the basic features of argument, what a claim is, what evidence is, how to marshal an opinion using lots of different sources. So they enter a conversation of sorts that's going on about a topic, and they feel confident about doing that by interrogating sources and finding ways to express themselves and find their voice within that.
We evaluate writing here in the admission office. We look at it on a 5-point scale, a 5 being absolutely exceptional work, thorough analysis, thorough thought given to the topic been presented, whereas a 1 on that scale would be that's writing is very underdeveloped, that definitely needs an additional writing course or additional writing assistance, whether through use of writing center tutors or a course here at the college. And so we aim for a 3, we aim for somewhere that's right in the middle, where there still is room for growth, but they've also demonstrated a thought process to it.
I'm Casey Strelka and I went to a Jesuit high school.
I'm Drew Norton and I went to a public school.
I'm Caitlin Hurley and I went to a co-ed Catholic high school.
Jordan Gibson, private.
I'm Matt Davis and I went to prep school.
I'm Kevin Lynn and I went to a public high school.
I'm Brian Matson and I went to public school.
I'm Leslie Walton and I went to boarding school.
So going to Catholic school for 12 years, I think I was prepared to write in college. We always emphasized not only writing but also reading, which is critical to the writing process. Writing is all about relationships between things, and all of my classes were connected. They weren't treated as separate. They were all interconnected in some way, and I was encouraged to draw those connections together. I wrote in all of my classes, whether it be a science class, a literature class, whatever the class it was. And I think that prepared me to structure and analyze and all of the important skills that are required for a good college writer.
My school was pretty writing intensive. We primarily focused on it in an English class, but for all my classes, my teachers were pretty strict about formatting, content, quality. I think my school did a good job preparing me for the college writing expectations here at Lake Forest College.
Freshman year, we all as freshmen got into a class and they literally taught us how to write, which is something I've never experienced before. They had a handbook and everything of exactly what we needed to do. And throughout high school, we wrote numerous amounts of papers and finishing off with a senior thesis that has to be 10+ pages. After freshman year, I realized in college that I was fully prepared when I came in. A lot of my friends had no writing experience prior, and I was used to writing papers every single week. So now it's very easy for me to be able to write papers rather quickly and formulate the outline, and I know a lot of other people struggle.
Students who have come from stronger high schools, whether that is that private school or parochial school or a boarding school, have typically had several years of experience in terms of writing longer papers or writing more well thought out papers as opposed to reflections or book reports. They really have gotten the experience of analyzing things, using resources like a library or the internet or things like that to really improve their writing that they submit to us.
So writing-wise, we had a writing class my freshman year that taught us the basics of writing. And then after that, the only thing we really did was a research paper for a rhetoric class. That was a big research paper that taught us how to do research. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of writing curriculum, and it was only for English classes and no other classes particularly.
In my high school, we didn't have a lot of English classes based on other subjects, just more of a broad English-based class. And we were taught how to do different types of papers, but coming to Lake Forest, I wasn't super prepared for college writing.
In the Writing Center, I train the tutors to not only work with the products of writing, so in other words, outlines and drafts and so on, but also to help students with the processes, what I call the sub-processes of writing, so that they see that good writers are doing all of these sort of subtasks in order to create a final draft. And so sometimes students get frustrated with that because they come in and they really just want a quick fix on something, and they end up getting a more in-depth analysis and more feedback than they really know what to do with. So it's finding the right balance between helping a student learn some new processes and also helping that student feel like the time, the hour invested in the Writing Center was worthwhile. It moved a writing project ahead.